Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Top Hat Gaming Man here with my friendly neighbourhood co-host, Luke Street. So, welcome to another exciting edition of Top Hat Chat, the enjoyable chat show on the secondary channel of the Top Hat Gaming Man, aka me. So, today we have decided to talk about a little American company known as Limited Run.
Yes, Limited Run are a company based in America, for anybody who didn't know, that sell limited quantities of indie games, essentially.
Yes, that's basically it.
Yeah, they have a website and they'll sell X amount of games and they'll release them for a price.
Yes, so basically they publish small indie titles and release physical copies.
Yeah.
For example, they release games on the PlayStation Vita, the PS4, I believe the Xbox One, and they are soon to be publishing Nintendo Switch titles as well.
I mean, small indie games, great. There's
Yes.
nothing wrong with those at all. Physical copies of those, nothing wrong with that. What on earth could you dislike about Limited Run?
Well, there's a lot I could say I dislike about Limited Run, I suppose. It says a lot really when you look around this room, and I've got about 3,000 bloody games, and not one of them has been published by Limited Run. So that kind of says it all, really.
Is that not because you've been unable to get them?
Well, yes, to some degree. However, I haven't attempted either. Let's say that. Does that make me a bit of a hypocrite that I've not even attempted? No, it doesn't. And that's the point I'm going to get to.
Yeah, okay.
Because Limited Run, more like limited fun.
Okay.
Because it's going to be a lot of hassle if you want to get involved with these products, in my opinion.
Okay, so why is that?
To me, it seems to be a whole company which is directed towards appealing towards the negative sectors within the gaming community. So, firstly, the mad speculating collectors, all of those losers who like to keep games sealed in their boxes, or like to procure games simply for their value rather than to actually have a good gameplay experience. And on top of that as well, the company's name itself, Limited Run, is twattish in its own right. It is literally, the name Limited Run implies that we're going to release a load of games in limited run and you better hurry up and panic buy them, otherwise you will never be able to own them. So give us your money now or you will get nothing.
Yeah, that does sound really dickish.
It is. It's like, literally, it reeks of dick.
When you
like Limited Run, the name Limited Run just reeks of dicks.
Yes. But they do a lot of good things.
And what's that exactly?
Okay, so you have a load of great indie games that you can only get if you download them. I hate downloading games. It's the bane of my gaming life. Getting a game that you can only own virtually is useless. You don't own it.
No, it's not a true concrete experience, is it, than actually picking up and holding.
It's essentially a lifelong rent.
Yes.
Which is just useless. So to have something physical in my hand is something that I've always...
It's very human to want a concrete experience.
It is.
Tactile.
It is. So I would prefer for a company like Limited Run to make the game physically so I can buy it from them and get it delivered and have it. And physically have something. Because then it gives me a sense of ownership.
I understand what you're saying, but personally I do not like digital downloads either. But I hate people trying to fleece me of my money even more. So I'll rather just go without either.
Okay,
I'll just go without completely because I don't like the idea of doing either of those things.
So you're seriously saying that if you only had two choices, a game that you absolutely love comes out, say for the Switch, and you want that game so much, and you can only get it through a digital download or through Limited Run, what are you going to do? What is your choice? You have two options.
I would have to, in the end, if I seriously was desperate to play it, I'd go for the digital download every time. Simply because the digital download is probably going to cost you something like £10, and Limited Run games probably cost you like £40. And that is only if you are willing to basically try and dance around all of your ethics and buy from a company who is promoting online scalping through creating games in limited quantity to be bought up by eBay sellers to be sold at an even higher premium on top of that. And that's on top of all the other issues like being forced into panic buying a product at a specific time during a small window rather than buying it at your own leisure. Like personally, as a consumer, I like to have the power to make a purchase or procurement at my own leisure. I do not like a small company saying you have to buy something of us now, otherwise you're not getting it. So yes, I will just prefer to go without.
Well, that is interesting. I mean, there are many ways of looking at this, I suppose. The way limited run work at the moment, as it actually functions, doesn't seem to work very well.
I don't
it
think
leaves
it does.
a lot of people that would potentially buy things.
Because as you can see, I clearly do buy a lot of games.
Yeah.
So if they somehow worked out a better business model, I'll probably buy all of their games.
Yeah.
Because they seem like good products, but I am not pandering to their needs. They should be pandering to mine,
Yeah.
the consumer.
So, at the moment, they will have X amount of games. Say they sell 10,000 games
Yes.
of whatever game that happens to be. And once they're gone, they're gone. What would be a better way of dealing with that?
I suppose, like I said, if they're concerned that they're making a small indie game, and say, for example, they want to make 1,000 copies, because you've obviously, I would assume that the more you make, the less it's going to cost. However,
Yeah.
if you end up making like 100,000 and 10,000 sell, then you're going to lose a lot of money.
Per unit, yeah.
Yes. However, for example, if they sell, I'm just throwing numbers around here. Say they sell 1,000 games and they sell out pretty quickly. How about, as a new system, they make a waiting list on literally every single game, and then the consumer pays the money up front to limited run, and when, for example, they have 1,000 more pre-orders, then they release another batch of games. Would it be that difficult to do that?
That would be a better way of doing things.
Because then they could just re-release the money, say 2 years later. Like, so say, for example, the waiting list is going for 2 years and they've only got like 60 pre-orders.
Yeah.
Then they could just give everyone their money back. It's not much different to what we see on Indiegogo. Is it Indiegogo? Or Kickstarter, those sort of places?
yeah.
It's not that much different, is it?
Well, the Kickstarter don't give you your money back, do they?
I'm not sure which ones give you your money back and which ones don't, but since Limited Run are doing pretty well, I think they're semi-reputable as a company, hence why Nintendo are allowing them to publish games on the Switch. I think they would be trustworthy enough that way to take your money before selling you the game.
Okay.
When they've got enough pre-orders, but they don't do it. And the reason why I don't think they do it is because they like sort of providing people with limited runs. Without the panic buying, would people be that inclined to get their games in the first place?
So you're
I don't know
saying,
whether
so
they would.
without that part of the model,
Yes.
the business would collapse?
Yes, exactly.
It would be
I
worth considerably
believe
less.
most people buy their games, well, a lot of people buy their games literally because they are profiteers. They want their games to either resell on or they want to hold on to it for its value. They're not necessarily buying it to play, because to be honest, if you're buying it to play, you could go for a digital download instead.
So
So
it
the
would-
whole model revolves around profiteering and basically being a bastard.
So actually by doing that, they would actually get rid of the scalping part of the market.
Yes, and
Because-
without their
yeah,
scalpers, would
yeah.
they be nothing? Without scalpers, would they be anything?
I'm going to say yes, because what I'm hoping is that somebody that works at Limited Run might be watching this.
Maybe Limited Run would be able to let us know why this
Yeah.
isn't possible. But they'll probably just give some corporate spiel, I suppose.
Like Watch Mojo
Like
did.
Watch Mojo and all those
Yeah.
other bastards online who keep giving me grief.
But they might actually be watching.
They could
So
be.
what we'll do, we'll try and be nice to them and just say, maybe have a chat with your bosses and try and get a better business model that allows gamers to play.
Yes, and stop making us feel so alienated.
Yes.
Like, yes, I don't like to be forced into panic buying. No. I like to be in control as a consumer, my own money.
Although you're much more entertaining when you're angry, so
Oh,
maybe
thank you.
they'll just completely disregard all of
Probably.
your advice.
And what's the other thing I've heard about them as well? I'd like to get this cleared up. Apparently,
Okay.
I've heard, don't know if this is true or not, so maybe someone can confirm or deny this in the comments section, that they turn up at gaming conventions and they scout their own bloody games. Like, they turn up and then they sell their games for double the amount they've got them for sale online at like stalls.
That's actually...
So not only are they encouraging scalping, but I've heard they're also scalping themselves.
So we want to make this clear, this is a rumour.
Yes, it's
But-
definitely a rumour because I can't confirm it.
It's believable because when you go to a convention, everything costs more.
Yes, it's literally a scalper's dream. Like,
Yeah.
people buy up stuff, take it to conventions to try and trick people into buying.
Yeah.
Well, not so much trick people into buying, but if you've got people at an event, specifically for gaming, in all actualities, they might want to bring something gaming home.
Yeah. So it's a believable rumour. So if anybody knows, comment below.
We'd like to know that.
Yeah, we'd like to know a bit more about that.
So for now, for me, limited run will always be limited fun, because I do not intend to add any of their published games to my gaming collection, because I simply find the business model unethical and somewhat hindering, I suppose, to my procurements.
But for me, I actually prefer having something digital, and if it means having to go, having something physical, I prefer to have a physical experience and have a bit more hassle in actually the buying of it to get that experience.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I'm happy.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not. Cheerio!